Put your hard hat on today. We're going to work in the factory. Oh, you think you're cut out for factory life, but then you end up in the cubicle. What happens when humanity programs something so great that we're just kind of expendable? Anyways, I'm getting off on a bit of a tangent here. We're looking at functions, the XY table, and graphing. Let's look at our goals here for the video. The reason why we're going after kind of the factory and machine imagery for functions is because they're kind of simpler. They're kind of similar. A function is a mathematical machine or process. So we'll talk a little bit how to generate values, how to use Google Sheets to generate a lot of values, how to create a graph, and how to copy and paste. So here we go. Let's look at our first function. Function 1, function of function of x, f of x equals 2x minus 3. So an x value comes in, it enters our machine, it goes through this process, a y value leaves, right? Let's say 1 comes into the factory, it gets multiplied by 2, we subtract 3, and negative 1 leaves the factory. Okay, then 3, actually let's say 4 comes into the factory, gets multiplied by 2, that's 8, minus 3, and 5 leaves the factory. Okay, let's do a negative. Negative 2 comes into the factory, it goes through the process, negative 7 leaves the factory, right? So it is kind of like a factory, an assembly line where the same process happens to different elements over and over and over again. So here we go. The perfect tool to compute these quickly and easily is right here on Google Sheets. Let's try it out. Now, of course, the first thing I'm going to do is make the screen a little bit more visible. I'm going to hit Command or Control A to select everything. I'm going to change the font size to 20, and then I'm going to increase the size of my cells. Now, this isn't something you have to do, but it will make it look a little bit better. Let's try typing something in here and see if it looks good. Yeah, I think we're going to be in good shape there. Okay, so let's make our XY table in Google Sheets, and we can center these to make them look even better like that. Okay, we've got X, we got Y. Put in a couple of those if I can remember any of them. 1 and negative 1, I think. Then we did 4 and 5 comes out, and negative 2 and negative 7. Okay, now we want to start having the computer figure these out for us. So let's try it out. Let's just make up a bunch of x values here. So let's say 4. Oh, we already did 4. Never mind. Let's not. We'll do 6. We'll do negative 3, negative 8, and we can just get as crazy as we want. Let's do 1,000. Okay, there we go. Now, let's code in that function into Google Sheets. So let's do something like this. So what we're going to do actually is we're going to start with an equal sign so that we can indicate to the computer that rather than storing a value and displaying it, we're going to be computing a value and then displaying it. So we're going to start with the equal sign. We're going to say equals 2 times, shift 8, and then we'll click on this cell right here to get the x value, right? So we're saying 2 times this particular x value minus 3. Okay, and there it goes. So 6, yes, that should work. 6 times 2 is 12, minus 3 is 9. Okay, so now let's copy and paste. So we'll hit Command C or Control C again, and we'll paste right here. Now the program is wise enough to know that, okay, now we're talking about this x value right here. So it always grabs the one next to it, right? This one goes A6, now this one gets A7, A8, etc., etc. Okay, so there we go. We have our XY table. Let's put a graph in there. Let's first start by highlighting our data, and then let's go to Insert Chart like that. Okay, there we go. Now it looks like this again. So let's change this to a line chart. There we go. Now you can see this nice line, kind of a picture of what function 2x minus 3 does. And we can also look at this one, which is pretty interesting, a scatter plot right here. And now you can see kind of like all of the data is scattered here in this 1,000. It's actually kind of making things look bad. So I'm going to get rid of it. just delete that one. Okay, now you can see the data points a lot more readily and a lot more easily. So that's kind of handy. Let's click on this again. You can click up here and go to edit chart. Right here, our scatter chart. I think I'll go back to line. Ultimately, probably line is what we want to look at. You can see the intercepts there. Okay, so let's customize the chart just a little bit. Let's put our function in the title. So we'll type in f of x equals 2x minus 3. And then we'll come over here and I'll center mine again. This is probably optional. We have the X label and the Y label, so I think everything looks pretty good there. I think we're good. You can explore through those menus and find some other things pretty easily. Okay, so let's go, and our last thing is copying and pasting. We already did a little bit, but now let's do the bulk of the copying and pasting. So we want to fill in our XY table right here, and we want to paste in our graph. So let's grab the 3 values we need from the XY table, and we'll do Command C, and we'll come over here and we'll highlight where we want to paste them, and we'll do Command V. And the font is slightly different, and also the separation of the chart has become gray instead of black, but I feel like those are things that we can live with. So we'll keep going. Now when you want to copy and paste the chart, one thing I recommend is trying to click in the right place. Try to click right below the table here, and then we'll go to Insert, Chart, if we can find Chart. There it is, From Sheets, and we'll click on our spreadsheet right here, and we'll import this chart, and there we go. There it is. And I think that's probably enough. I think we can get through the whole worksheet doing this. Good luck and have fun.